Rebound taken by Iguodala. Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, 4-4 and go. That other getting old. We got Sam Ryan time. This is a sports octagon. Sports for forever and beyond. Spending with Sam Ryan time. From the puck to the glove to the pigskins high. Share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. Down the baseline in the bleachers, or you wanna get denied. Yeah, share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. 4-4 and go. Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, it's 4-4 and go. Come here to cleanse your soul.
The Browns Super Bowl contenders.
Hey, listen, when we start talking about what wins Super Bowl, we talk about talent. The Browns, they have the talent. They have it.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Well, I guess the ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how many kids are watching under the age of 10. Probably not a good idea. But anyways, welcome to episode 39. Some good topics tonight. Got some Browns on deck, I think some Tribe on deck, NCAA football on deck, and quite a few top threes on deck. So if you guys notice over there, 440 and Gold blew up the chat box. Good night. We're looking for some top threes to get us going here. AJ Long coming in hot. Looking for some top three topics tonight. We got some stuff to talk about, but we're trying to get the audience involved just a little bit more tonight. You know, the past couple of weeks we've had, past month and a half almost, we've had coaches on every Tuesday, and I just want to see the audience get involved just a little bit more. So let's see what we can do to make that adjustment. So finally Friday for most of y'all. I know Sammy's off tomorrow. Tom's got to work, and I hosed myself into working, but it is overtime, and it is what it is. I know Sammy's pumped. I'm a little disappointed because tomorrow Sammy's going to get some images of your Edgewood Warriors and of your St. John Heralds. They'll be doing a little practice tomorrow. Help us out, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah, we're trying to get this these last little bits and pieces buttoned up for the upcoming magazine. So
yes,
unfortunately, at this current time, we are having quite a bit of difficulty gaining any traction with Conneaut. So if anybody has a direct relationship with Conneaut's head coach, if you could reach out maybe and help us out. Each of the three panel members here has tried to reach out. I think there might be some kind of a break in communication, but ideally we're trying to include everybody in the county. So we also are in the midst right now of trying to figure out logistically how to get Pymatuming and Grand Valley included, trying to get that all buttoned up. So, unfortunately with three guys who are working full time and doing stuff like that, we do have a little bit of limit to resources, but you guys can rest assured that whatever we can do, we are going to do.
Right. We are trying like hell to get everything done the right way, the best way we know how. So,
probably not coming out. Probably not going to come out until the first week. We really wanted to do it like a preview type of deal. But thanks COVID. That's probably not going to happen. It just tied us up a little bit more than we wanted to. But we're going to right now. The idea is to have that magazine shot out by week 1 of this year, so you guys have something tangible to hold on. We're working on doing a digital as well as a print. So going to be, we're doing what we can here. Tom's got some experience in here, so we're just going to ride that hog until he falls down.
I like that.
That's what she said.
You guys sound like
Oh gosh.
Spun up.
PG. Who said
Guys.
PG-13?
Guys, real quick. Vlade Divac just stepped down as general manager of the Sacramento Kings like 5 minutes ago. Holy shit.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought that guy was dead.
So that's why it's breaking news. He ain't dead. He's like Richard Pryor. I ain't dead yet.
I'm
bitch.
starting to think.
You know what?
I'm starting to think Tom just likes to hit the button.
Take it easy there, PD from Dexter's Laboratory.
Right.
Honestly, so Vlade Divac, the only thing I'll ever remember him for is there was a game, I think it was Celtics versus Lakers for the Sega Genesis. And it was
the Lakers.
Yeah, it was one of those. It was one of the Sega games that it was so old, it had like the yellow chip on the side of it.
Yep.
Ooh. And Vlade Divac was on the team, and he was like the biggest blocker in the entire game. That's the only thing I'll ever know him for.
Well, see, the reason that it matters, because Nate just said who cares. The reason that matters is because you want to talk about a team that is just on that cusp. They're like one player away from really kind of breaking through and going to the playoffs, playing meaningful minutes. Vlade Divac just ain't cutting it, man. Maybe they drafted De'Aaron Fox. They got Harrison Barnes. They drafted Marvin Bagley Jr. Maybe they'll get someone competent in there that can lure in a mid-level star to bring them over that hump. I'd like to see the Kings be relevant again. The Kings, when they had Bibby and Stojakovic and Doug Christie and Chris Webber, that team was a unit, bro. That team was a unit. And now, what the hell? What the H?
Well, you know, they drafted Jimmer Fredette. You know, so they got that going for them. Thomas
sounds
Robinson,
like
who
did he own the Red Roof Inn?
Nope, but he did go to
BYU.
Yeah,
BYU.
We'll leave the light on.
Yeah, all he did was just shoot the ball. That's it. Just shoot the shit out of the ball. Actually, you know where he's actually a dog at is China.
Yeah.
Like he took he took the Stephon Marbury.
Oh yeah, he did.
Stephon Marbury.
Speaking of Stephon Marbury, have you guys seen that documentary on Stephon Marbury that's on Netflix? The kid from Coney Island.
I have not.
You want to talk about a good documentary? That's one you need to watch. That shit was good. I mean, I never liked Stephon Marbury, but now I'm like, damn, this guy was all right.
My favorite basketball player ever is Latrell Sprewell because of his shoes that had spinners.
I thought you were going to say because he choked out PJ Carlissimo.
Literally just choked the son of a bitch.
Good second option. Good second option. Yeah, so look at there on the bottom, guys. We're looking for some good top three lists. We got a couple coming up in the second half of the show, but we want to hear what the audience has to say as far as your favorite top threes. Just shout them out over in the chat box, and maybe we'll throw them up on the show. Maybe we'll bring you on. You never know. You just never know. You never know what happens on a Friday night. Freestyle Friday, baby.
Freestyle Friday.
We do have that sound, but it does have a donkey incorporated with it. So hard punt right now. All right, let's get into the show. Some actual things that matter in life. Let's see. Let me hit the button. COVID-19 update. Let me share my screen.
Let's see yesterday's stats. Yeah, you know, you got to keep things regular. Anywho, for that
582. Yeah, I bet you do. 582 cases in Ashtabula County, 46 deaths. 1,178. Last time we were on, it was only about 800 or 900. So definitely a little bit of a spike. Hopefully it comes back down. 21 deaths in Ohio as well. Rest in peace to those folks. So backing out of that because I don't want to talk about COVID if we don't have to, but we always end up talking about it.
Yeah, we do have to talk about it a little bit.
And then there's Sammy coming in with COVID talk. Take the floor, my friend.
Well, Ashtabula still remains the lone yellow county in this part of the world. You got a couple counties that have gone out of yellow. Hello. That are no longer yellow. Orange, excuse me, a couple more reds, a couple that have gone from red, but the numbers are still staying the same pretty much everywhere. I will tell you this is, what was it, Tuesday or Wednesday when he did his last address? DeWine was incredibly disappointing. Like one of the things that irritates me beyond everything is if you announce you're going to do something, and this is why we try not to do it on this show either. If we say we're going to cover something, we cover that. So when DeWine says that he's going to talk about high school sports, don't talk about absolutely everything but high school sports, which was the first thing he did. And then, supposedly on Tuesday, he's going to come out with an announcement. But, I
got to bring this up. I'm bringing this up. I like this. So there's the color chart. You got Cuyahoga, bright red. But we got Lake Geauga and Ashtabula, and then Trumbull is still orange.
So I think Lake went from orange. Lake went from orange to yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went from orange to yellow, so that's a good thing.
The red color means I don't know if anyone can read that, but very high exposure and spread. Limit activities as much as possible. Orange, increased exposure and spread. Yellow, active exposure and spread, so in the end, what does it actually mean? I mean, the terminology for it is so vague.
All right, so here's how it works. The red, any county with red has over 100
per 100,000.
Per 100,000, right. So the orange I think the number is between 75 to 80 per 100,000, and then the yellow is just like, I think it's anything under that. Ashtabula is hovering somewhere around 30. So they're very low. They're very low, very low.
But the real question is Ashtabula reporting appropriately? Because I have my doubts.
So do I, and not only that, but if you cut, you look at the land mass of Ashtabula County. And the population is going to, kind of droll it out. So if you take out the rural, I bet you if you just took the top of that Ashtabula County and just covered the urban areas, we'd probably be at least orange, if not red. Right. Although I still don't think we're testing anywhere near enough around here. I know plenty of people who have wanted to get tested and can't because you need a doctor's order. If you really want to know what's going on with the numbers, make it so everybody can get tested.
But see, that doesn't make sense to me because I thought someone said, well, when you look at it, we have the most tests and they are the best tests.
Mm-hmm.
So the most tests mean more cases.
He's not. I mean, he's not lying. We probably do have the most tests. It's just how they're administered.
Well, yeah. I mean, and one of my favorite thing that's going on around here is so there's this where people say it's about a 0.3% mortality rate. And the faulty logic that's attached to that because right now where it's sitting is about a 3% mortality rate. So if you take people who have it, and of those people who have it, this many people died. It's like 3%. Is it that high? Absolutely not. Because as you increase the testing and find more people that have it, less people are going to die. So therefore it's going to drop down. It's not going to drop down to 0.03.
No.
Okay. So you can't attach how many people who are dead to the entire population of the United States because then you're insinuating that everybody in the United States has COVID. That's just not it. Those numbers mean if you get COVID, this is your percentage of that you could die. So like I Facebook, which is always just a plethora of information because there's so
all true, by the way.
Horse shit.
All true.
That is my weekly pet peeve.
I read it on Google.
Listen, Sam, in Ohio, it's a mandate, not a law. Okay, it's a mandate.
Listen, That idiot compared herself to somebody that just I don't understand why people aren't even just knocking her completely loose right now, because she compared herself.
Is she still at it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I am at it, and I will not be silenced.
She compared herself to Rosa Parks. We'll put it out there. So she deserves all the heat she gets. Compared herself. She said she is the Rosa Parks of mask. I will punch her in the face. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
I am oppressed.
Just stop.
Oh no, that woman is just. Yeah. We'll let everyone think what they want to think. I won't comment. I won't comment. Oh yeah, she'll probably get a job too. Let me tell you. Anyways, moving on. A little bit of less COVID talk, but still COVID. Sammy kind of stole the thunder of the I don't know, what is that thing called? Yeah, DeWine to announce on Tuesday, 8/18 plans on high school football. So, like Sammy said earlier, DeWine said I think it was Wednesday last week. I don't know. I remember listening to it while I was driving. I tuned in on purpose because I wanted to know what was going on, and lo and behold, Nothing other than we'll let you know on Tuesday is basically all that came out of it. So hopefully this Tuesday we'll know exactly how OHSAA fall sports are going to roll. I think Sammy may have a little insider's news. I'll let Sammy take it on that aspect so he can explain it the way he wants. We got
a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who moves trucks. Yeah. But no, so from what it looks like is from some insider sources. We've got sources. We're a real
sources.
So from one of our sources, it looks like football season is looking like it's going to proceed. With the 6th game, it looks like he's going to go ahead and allow that to go ahead. Basically on the grounds of there's just not a lot of football teams that are going to play this year. So, so far, no Cleveland teams, no Toledo teams, no Columbus teams. Cincinnati, I'm getting contradicting stories on whether they're going to allow high school football. So that's Collar and Xavier. Those two actually matter. And the newest addition to the bunch is no Summit County teams. Are playing football this fall for high school. So what he looks like he's going to do is he's going to allow the teams that are going to play, because it seems to be from the counties of lower incidence rate anyway. And what he said is he's always trusted the schools to make their decision. So that's great. So it looks like that's going to go. And
it's called a punt. That is called a hard punt. It's not my fault if a kid dies on the field. It's yours.
And potentially, it looks like maybe they're going to be allowed to scrimmage one team prior to the season. So that is completely hearsay as it stands right now, but that's potential. I will tell you this. If there is a local scrimmage next week, you guys may be in for a treat, because we may do a special edition of 440 and Goal. So that's something, guys, you're going to want to keep your eyes here, not only here, but you're going to want to keep your eyes on our YouTube, on our Instagram, on our Twitter. Our Twitter is going to probably be dropping a lot of information, breaking news style, because that department of this channel is up to date the most. So make sure you get over it. Check us out on Twitter at 440 and Goal.
Let's see. Andrew Katz has a very long statement. Let's read it. Hold on. I know it's looking ahead, but with all of this affecting the fall sports, what are your thoughts how it will affect the spring sports and everything getting moved around? So my quick take on it is I don't think it's going to affect football or any fall sports at all, because I do not believe with all these schools that are canceling, so Cuyahoga, the schools in Columbus, Cincinnati, Toledo, they're just not going to have a season. They may throw something together for kids. Let's say February comes up, COVID's on the downturn. They may throw something together for kids, but it will just be a county league like we've talked about, just in their respective counties. But I don't think it's going to affect anything. It is. I think we're at a do or die moment right now. In the next 5 days, we'll find out. But I think right now it's either you're playing or you're not. And if you're not, it is what it is.
I think I have to disagree with you there, Rye. I think it is going to affect. I think it is going to affect spring sports in a big way. Because baseball teams are going to be affected because you're not going to be able to play baseball and you're not going to be able to play football at the same time.
Correct.
For some of these guys, so I think back to a guy like Jamie Frazier, okay, who's a guy that we all know. Jamie Frazier was an absolute monster hitter.
A unit.
Okay, great catcher. But Jamie Frazier knew his future was with football. You know, that's what sent him to Youngstown State, which, by the way, for those of you who don't know, Jamie Frazier gave Terrell Pryor his first ever collegiate sack.
I did watch that. You are right.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I will never forget that because it's the first and only time I was happy a Ohio State quarterback got sacked. So shout out to Jay Fresh. But no, you're going to have guys that – so without a doubt, some of these teams that aren't playing in the fall are going to push football into the spring. I think you could have the potential this year of having 2 separate football seasons, 2 separate football leagues.
Oh, yeah. Well, the other thing, too, so think about like –
We're not really disagreeing.
So think about
I thought you said it wasn't going to affect it, right?
No, I said that if there is a football season in the spring, it won't be probably OHSAA affiliated, I guess would be the better way to put it, because the schools will put it together with the schools that did not play football. Because Lakeside is not. If Lakeside
athletes aren't going to play too.
The student athletes,
they're not going to play.
Right.
Both.
No, right. I mean, maybe we just interpreted the question 2 different ways. Both were the right way, it sounds like, because I agree with what you're saying. But I just don't see that a team that's not playing now, they're not going to be affiliated with OHSAA sports in the spring coming up. It will just be, I guess, a intramural type game. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But anyways.
Unfortunately, I think we just freaking identified another problem. With this.
What's that?
That's another problem that people haven't talked about. Like, what do you do with the schools who are not playing? So, by the way, Summit County, just in case you don't know, are all the Akron and Canton schools. So that's all. So now you've got Toledo, Akron, Columbus, Cleveland, and I'm pretty sure Cincinnati, all not playing. So the biggest schools in the state, none of them are playing football this fall.
Right.
Those cities alone could have a separate in the spring.
Separate in the spring.
That's what I'm saying. I totally.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy to me.
That's what. But you're right. It's going to contradict with baseball and whatever spring sports are. Track. I think track in the spring, right? Yeah.
Yes,
right.
sir.
You know, so
the one thing, kind of extrapolating on what Sammy said. So let's just say Lakeside was affected, right? So you've got a kid, Tish's son, Anthony. Okay, standout interior lineman on the defensive line. Okay, being leaned on heavily. He could have a future in football. He's also a D1 talent at track and field. You got to make that kid choose at that point what he wants to do, kind of like Jamie Frazier. But now it's a real world type situation because it's actually happening. You know what I mean? What happens with a kid who's a 5-star receiver prospect, but he's also being looked at the Olympic team for track and field? You know what I mean? Like, what does he do? Because there's all these provisions in place.
It doesn't even have to be that much. You know what I mean? It doesn't even have to be Olympics. It can be, maybe I'm a 3-quarter scholarship offer from Edinboro for football, but I'm a full ride in track to I don't know, track schools, anybody watching, give me a good track college.
Akron, University of Akron.
Okay. Yeah. University of Akron is offering me a track scholarship, or another school, full scholarship. So then you lose players that way too, because ultimately what it comes down to for these players is, for most of these players, especially in this area where finance is a problem. The financial aspect of what these kids live every day, and if they're going to be able to go to college or not, exists. So what it comes down to is, where are they going to get the most money? So you might not get to see the best players on the league. Ultimately, altogether, I don't know if you're going to be able to see the best players on the league either all year this year, because there's a lot of scare tactics going on right now too.
Oh yeah.
So
big time.
I can see that. What up, Coach Rich? Let's see. He says, yep, it will affect smaller schools more than larger schools. Example, Menor, St. Ignatius, numbers dictate. Yep. It will. It really will. It's going to be interesting. I mean, this whole year has been interesting. Let's just be honest. I mean, nothing. Right. And nothing has been.
You couldn't even write this.
No, you really can't. Yeah, the closest thing was that Space Jam when they said it.
You say that you can't write this? Arthur C. Clarke, a science fiction writer, actually did write this. He predicted this shit, man. It's crazy.
What are you talking about? Go ahead and give your book.
Okay, so
come on, Westminster.
Start calling you a Westie from this point.
Westie. Hey, I like that. Hey, Adam Schefter, Shefty.
Oh, Westie.
That's cool. West Side. But I'm like, I'm the Nipsey Hussle of 4 for own goal. Anyway, I'll just get prolific tattooed right here too. It'll be great.
If you tattoo your face, this show ends with you right then and there. I will not work. I will not work with anybody with a face tattoo as a rule.
If Tom shows up with a Band-Aid on his head, you know what happened.
No, guys, I just got cut. I was just acting out of line, and Megan just disciplined me. So Arthur C. Clarke wrote quite a few dystopian novels, and one, I can't remember the name of it, but he wrote about how a virus came and pretty much started to affect the whole population. It didn't have a very high death rate, but it was enough to throw the.
Did we lose Tom?
Something went south.
Like politics dictate what's going on. And it's just wild. Like, sometimes you see the science fiction stuff, but art reflects real life. You know what I mean? And there's no way he could have known, but it's just crazy because some people write off science fiction as a joke, but really in this case, it's not. This is this is sci-fi.
Did you guys? Yeah, it is. You're right. But did you see Vladimir Putin, Russia's president, announced that he has the vaccine for COVID-19?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he did. Yeah. After, I think it was a 37 person trial, if I recall right, and he declared he had the vaccine.
I don't know.
In fact, Donald went over there and he said, Vladimir, this is amazing. This is tremendous. We're going to bring it to America.
I believe
on humanity.
Yeah. So I believe that about as much as I believe that Kim Jong-un has never pooped. I tend not to take to take medical advice from a country that allowed a nuclear meltdown to just poison an entire area of the country for about 20 years before they
can't live there.
Well, no, before they admitted it. You know, people are waking up and getting up, and their fingers are still on the bed, and they're like, "Yeah, it has nothing to do with that. I don't know what the hell you're doing. No, he needs some milk."
It is your crops. Your crops are horrible.
Oh, all right.
Sorry.
NCAA canceled all fall championships, but it does not apply to football. Can you say how much this reflects so much on how much the NCAA, how much money they bring in? That's all that reflects on. That is absolutely. I mean, in my opinion, that it's garbage that they cancel everything but football. It's amazing to me.
The NCAA doesn't have control over the football championship, so that's the difference there. So the college football playoff is handled by it's handled by an independent body. So the college football playoff system is not an NCAA championship technically. So the NCAA, body, correct? Yeah, it's the governing body of that. So they're playing for a different set of championships. It's not like wrestling and everything else where you're going to get a trophy that says NCAA with your sport and a championship. This is a completely different body. This is so they can't cancel it. But what they can do, what the NCAA can do, is forbid their programs from participating. And today, they let out a pretty scathing statement, which you'll be able to find on our Twitter, regarding the SEC, ACC, and Big 12's not canceling their seasons yet. So, I just want to say this, and for all of you guys that are watching, this is not about the health of athletes. We need to understand that first. If you have to come to the realization that this has nothing to do with doing the right thing. This is all about liability. So they have identified at this time that there is a potential for endocarditis with COVID infection. Endocarditis is something that is a lasting effect. They're also looking at some effects on the lungs and stuff like that.
Swelling of the heart.
That's exactly what it is. It's swelling of the heart muscle, or not the muscle, but the internal portion of the heart.
Getting them damaged heart valves.
So what happens is it puts the schools and the NCAA at risk. So I think what they're doing is they're hiding behind we're trying to be as safe as possible. The only health that they are concerned with is the health of their pocketbook. That is it. So you can bet that, and as all this stimulus talk is talking about right now, one of the issues that's going on with that is they want to, if they want to give a free pass to companies liability wise for COVID, where they won't be able to be sued, then it opens the door for NCAA. But without those safety nets, these big organizations are not going to function that way because they'll still be liable.
Remember what Ohio State tried to do 3-4 weeks ago
with the waiver, and they determined that that's not going to work either. And I think that's a bigger reason than not for why they're canceling it. The best part of me wants to believe that it is about the kids, but it's grown.
Once you're past high school, and even some high schools aren't, but once it's past high school, it's no longer about the kids. It's about, honestly, they're just a number on the field, and they need to perform at the highest levels to make the most amount of money for those schools. That's just, unfortunately, the way it is. You either love it or you hate it. It's up to you. But I'm done talking about COVID crap. I don't want to talk about COVID crap. What?
The most sickening part about that whole thing, colleges have endowment funds, man. Colleges have endowment funds. And for those of you who don't know what an endowment fund is, it's money and assets that colleges have that are donated, and they can use them for anything, right? And generally, colleges use them for contingency plans, okay? So, like I said a few weeks ago, my college had the balls to message me, an alumni, and say, hey, we want to send these kids back to school and do everything we can for them. Please donate. And my response was, you sons of bitches got $110 million endowment fund. Like, what are you talking about? It you can't convince me it's about the kids, because when my college, a Division III college that has 1,100 kids on campus at all times, has a $110 million endowment fund. What do you think the endowment fund is at Ohio State? There's a 1,100 kids on a floor of a dormitory. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't about the kids. It's about lining this pocketbook, and they're scared shitless right now that they aren't going to be viable in the future because of COVID. And you're going to
that's the other thing. It's not even about the cost of the testings, because you look at schools like Ohio State. Ohio State has a fantastic medical school, so you could definitely get bottom dollar lab prices there. They could get these tests done at a very reasonable rate, if not at all for free. That bullshit school up north, who I refuse to ever acknowledge their real name, has a medical school that a lot of people attend. Northwestern's one of the best medical schools in the country. And not only that, but these schools like Northwestern has an incredible law school too. So they've got some of the best minds in the country. I heard today on 92.3 The Fan, and people will probably get pissed off, and I don't care, because it's absolutely true. The reason why the Big Ten has canceled, the Big Ten and the Pac-12 have canceled, and the ACC and the SEC haven't, is because there are more intelligent people at those schools. So the Pac-12 has schools like Stanford and Cal, where the Big Ten has Northwestern, Ohio State, that other bullshit school I won't say. Great medical schools, great law schools. You don't hear people, swinging their degrees, because I went to the University of Alabama Medical School. So
I just credit you if you went there.
You know what I mean? So I think it does. I think it really does speak to the actual the overall thought process going on there, because those schools in the South just academics are second. Outside of Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's the only school in the SEC that actually cares about grades.
I mean, after the bomb dropped of Rutgers, a Big Ten school, 30 positive tests there. I mean, I think that's what kind of pushed it over the edge. Would you guys not agree?
Well, like I said earlier, they had to be good at something. They had to be good at catching.
Yeah, 30 positive tests on one football field. That's
disgusting.
That's wild.
Like, gotta try. You had to try, you sons of bitches.
Listen, guys, you guys know what state Rutgers is in, right?
I mean, isn't it in New Jersey?
It's a Jersey thing, baby.
It's a Jersey.
Sure it is. All right, let's get into a little bit of
down there trying to fix it.
Finally, off of COVID talk, let's get into a little bit of Browns football. Njoku buys into Cleveland running double tights. I'm pretty excited to have Njoku with Austin Hooper. I don't know that there will be a better tight end setup in the NFL, to be quite frank with everybody. Njoku, once he figures out his hands, and I mean he's a freak of an athlete. He's like 6'7" and just completely chiseled. But once he figures out his hands, and Hooper on the other side with Stefanski's offense, I think it's going to go great. But we'll see how that goes. So what are you guys' thoughts on Njoku actually buying in?
Well, so the thing about it is I will disagree. I do think that there is one better tight end setup in the NFL, and it's in San Francisco, because Kyle Juszczyk is a fullback only in name. Kyle Juszczyk is a tight end. I mean, sure, he lines up at fullback, but the boy's a tight end. He's a receiving fullback. I mean, that's a tight end, in my opinion. But I do like the thought that, you have Hooper, you have Njoku, like you said, Ryan. He figures out the hands, he figures all that out. You have a freak athlete with you that can really take the pressure off of Hooper, open some stuff up. But I think the thing that happened is Njoku realized he has no leverage. I mean, if it were like, let's just say, for the sake of brevity, it behooves us to talk about this, okay? Let's say our backup tight end was Tony Gonzalez, let's just say, right? then you've got some leverage. You've proven you can do something before. You can move on. You can demand a trade because you have that leverage. And Njoku hasn't done anything except for spike the ball really cool a few times. And he's got a name that's kind of like a Dragon Ball Z character. And my son shits his pants because he loves Dragon Ball Z. So you hear Njoku sounds like Goku, and he's like, Goku's on the field? What? Anyway, when you realize you don't have leverage, like when I was having a tough time at my profession and I wanted to leave, go somewhere else, I kind of realized that, I mean, yeah, I might be good at what I do, but I haven't done anything yet. No one else is going to be looking at me. No one else, like the stores in the establishments in Menor, Streetsboro, high volume places aren't like, oh, well, shit, Tom Roth's over there. You know what I mean? Let's go grab him. Because I haven't done anything of like tangible value yet. I hadn't won Mark of Excellence at that point. I hadn't sold 200 cars in a year yet. So once you do something tangible value, then you have all the leverage. But once Njoku had that presence of mind to say, oh, well, I don't have this tangible value, I can't do anything, then it all changes. And I think it happened in a very good time, training camp. He can get in there. He can get the reps. He didn't really miss anything. So I think it's going to be good for the Cleveland team and the organization. I kind of went on a rant. I'm sorry. Sam, I see you down there. You're like itching, so I'm going to let you scratch that itch, baby.
Oh, no. I'm listening to you. I mean, I'm glad you guys have high hopes for Njoku, because this is about who he is right here. I'm super glad. I'm super glad that we're, losing our minds for this guy, because I mean, the one thing I can tell you is, Njoku, you don't need to test him because he couldn't even catch COVID. I don't give a damn about David Njoku. He has been all hype and absolutely no follow through. So when he started talking all that shit about leaving Cleveland, we could have traded him for a washing machine as far as I was concerned. In the words of the great Jay Corlew, go play soccer. I'm sick of it. So hopefully he comes out there and he has this godlike build. He's very tall. He has giant hands. He could jump out of the gym. For a tight end, he's really relatively fast. Not a great blocker, but whatever. I guess we're gonna have to get around that. But he can't catch the damn ball. So everybody's losing their mind over him. I don't get it. Unless he's got that sticky shit from Little Giants, I don't want to hear anything about Njoku. Show me something, dude. Show me something. Because over the last couple of years, you were supposed to be the top guy around here, and you haven't done a damn thing. You made Kenny Britt look good.
I mean, I think you're at least give the guy a little bit benefit of the doubt. I mean,
go look at his drops.
That's what I'm looking for right now. I don't know. I'm just trying to read it. But, I mean, he had 639 receiving yards in 18, and then he got racked in the first game of 2019, basically. So, I mean, I mean, 639 yards for a tight end, and I think, 6 touchdowns or something like that? I'm trying to see if I can find it.
Oh, no. I mean, no one's arguing that it's but if
you can't catch the ball, man.
If you trade back into the first round for a tight end, that tight end better be like top tier talent. You know what I mean? Fact of the matter, Kittle, Mark Andrews, those Antonio Gates, those guys weren't drafted in the first round. They damn sure weren't traded into the first round to get. So you viewed him as a high commodity, and he's not playing up to high commodity standards. And some of that is unfortunate injury history. But the fact of the matter remains, you were on the field for other instances, and you didn't produce at the level you should have. You had drops. You were afraid of contact. You missed key blocks down the road that could have led to a Landry touchdown, that could have led to Chubb or whatever damn running back.
He averages about 30 drops a year, which is a lot for a tight end.
I mean, in 2018, he only dropped 8 passes.
I'll tell you what.
I don't know where you're saying that, because I see 2018. I see 88 targets with 56 receptions. So
right. So I mean, okay. So you're right, but it doesn't mean like He had 88 targets, but that doesn't mean that the man covering him didn't swat the ball away, or it doesn't mean that, who was our quarterback in 2018.
30, that means 30 times when he was supposed to get the ball. When he was supposed to get the ball, 30 of those times, he couldn't do it. That's what that means.
That does not mean that.
That's exactly what that means.
No, it doesn't. Okay, yes, so look at. All right, so let's look at OBJ's drops.
No, because he's got more than he should either. You want to look at one? Look at Jarvis Landry.
Look at Jarvis Landry. Those aren't drops. They would call them drops. Not.
Well, the fact of the matter is, though, Jarvis Landry once had 114 receptions with Ryan's niece throwing him the football. So I'm going to give Jarvis Landry the benefit of the doubt. I mean,
yeah, you look at Jarvis Landry in 2017, which is his best year, with 161 targets and 112 of those get caught. That's what a guy should be doing.
You're saying he had 40 drops then?
Yeah, he had 40 drops with over.
It's not drops.
Shots. He had 40. He makes a reception more often than Njoku.
Yeah, because he's targeted. He's targeted more. He's a wide receiver.
It's a ratio, for Christ's sake.
A third of the time, Njoku doesn't even have to run downfield. Every time Jarvis Landry gets on the field, he's got to run down the field.
In what offense?
What do you mean?
In what offense? Because Baker lives and dies by his tight ends. The Browns have lived and died by their tight ends for years. Gary Barnidge was a freaking all-pro here. We live and die by tight ends.
Gary Barnidge literally caught the ball with his ass cheeks.
Yeah,
literally. It was awesome.
All I'm saying is,
nonetheless,
Njoku didn't have 30 drops, and they only count drops on you of touching the ball.
It only counts if you touch the ball and drop it. It doesn't count when you're watching the ball sail by you, when you're going like this and acting like you can't catch it, or my favorite of the Njoku moves, you're about to get racked so you don't catch the ball. So that's David Njoku. Listen, I hope you guys are right, Dave, but I will tell you this: David Njoku sucks.
I'm gonna tell you what, Sammy. I'm gonna go
mark it, stamp it. No. Remember this shit.
Here we go.
David Njoku sucks.
I'm gonna go off that a little. David Njoku isn't even the best Miami tight end we drafted in the first round. That'd be the soldier Kellen Winslow Jr., and he only lasted 3 years here.
I would take Kellen Winslow fresh off of his motorcycle accident over David Njoku.
Tampa. I do believe Tampa Bay did that, and let's see how well that worked out.
I would rather have Jason Pierre-Paul fresh on July 5th than David Njoku.
Oh my God.
Oh, anyways, moving in to Baker goes fat free. I did hear on 92.3 The Fan today. He is
There's a top three for you. Who would you rather have than David Njoku? Here, let me give you mine. I would rather have Candyman. I would rather have Chubbs from Happy Gilmore. I would rather have who's the guy on Arrested Development?
Buster.
I'd rather have Candyman, Chubbs, or Buster.
Hey, brother.
It's terrible. This show's terrible.
Yeah. No, you're terrible. You're a terrible human being. Terrible human being.
I never cared for Joe.
Baker goes fat free riding a Peloton bike. Hearsay is.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to share my screen with that, Ryan.
He's down to 4% body fat.
Yeah, let me share my screen for that one, bro.
Oh, here we go. What? This should be interesting.
Baker's looking like a snack.
Yeah, you know what? He does. He does look good. He does look good. I got to give him credit because, he had the same build as me for most of the year last year. So nobody wants Danny DeVito leading their team. So I'm glad that he's finally, you know.
I like Danny DeVito leading that team. I love that. Danny DeVito would go into the huddle and be like, bullshit, derivatives.
No, but you know what? I'm glad to see. So the best part of this is that he is actually owning up to his shortcomings last year, and he actually admitted to the fact he's like, yeah, I was just flat out of shape. You know, I let it get the best of me, and this year I'm ready to work. That's all I need from these guys.
Yeah,
and I know my opinion doesn't mean shit, and I know none of us does, and we're all fans, and these guys are. I love you too, Rebecca. These guys are all, you know, they're professional athletes, better than we're ever going to be at that sport. But you know, when you're doing something, if you're not giving it everything you can, then I don't want you, man. Like that's, you know, like the new saying is, if it ain't this, I don't want it. So if my quarterback's not doing this all year, then I don't want it. Like Tom Brady, there's a reason why he's 67 years old and still playing. Like the dude treats his body like a temple, not a fast food restaurant like I do.
Tom Brady snorts wheatgrass.
Yeah, like it's. I mean, in how many relationships in the world would Gisele Bündchen be the least healthy of the relationship? Like, how many times is that ever going to be a thing?
Right. Unless she's dating Tom Brady, C.T. Fletcher, or Ryan Cole, she ain't going to be the most. She ain't going to be the healthiest person.
Come on over. Let's get a bowl of spaghetti, babe.
Listen, baby, eat that sausage leg. Get my little meatball. My little piece of garlic bread.
That off the screen. Good night. Going into a little bit of NBA, and then let's see. I clicked the right button. Giannis. Did I say that even right? It's
Giannis.
It's Giannis, brother. Giannis.
Whatever. It's got a G in front of it. Anyways, goes heads in the wrong direction.
Gnome has a G in front of it too. Like David the Gnome.
I don't.
That has a G in front of it. You know,
it sounds like it should be genome to me, but it's just my opinion.
Oh my god.
Genome.
Oh god.
Giannis gets suspended for one game. Apparently he headbutted somebody from another team. I don't know what the other team was, but you guys take this one. I don't know whether it was good, right, wrong. Is it a playoff game? Does anyone know that?
It's no, but he has to sit one.
Mm-hmm. Does he have to sit a playoff game?
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm not even sure who the other player's name is. It was it was just some random guy, I think. Anyway, got the best of him, got him angry, and Giannis decided to give him the old friggin' Greek headbutt. So I think
Cocotazo?
I'm okay. I think he did. He gave him a Cocotazo, whatever the Greek version of a Cocotazo.
It's called a gyro.
No, it's a euro. It's a euro. Okay.
So you can say euro, but you can't say Giannis.
Cole did that on purpose. I love it.
You are Seven Malone. You are Seven from The Office.
I was just
love it.
When it's pies, I can count. Okay, but when it's Greek nomenclature, I can't.
It's Giannis and it's euros. Okay,
get it right. We only have time to get 3 pies.
At a rate of 5 pies per second.
You know what they say.
Yes.
A
Clevin gets you home by 7.
Oh yeah, boy. Yeah.
For those of you who don't know what the hell we're talking about, please go out and watch the later seasons of The Office because it is outstanding.
I actually watched about 8 episodes last night. I couldn't help myself.
So great.
Just running right through it. It was great.
So on a non-related thing, I guess, whatever.
Dogs are barking.
So you know, Netflix is losing The Office.
Yeah.
But I thought it was going over to a paid service. It's going over to Peacock, which is free. So
free.
I remember for years. Well, for years, everybody asked for, I think people were asking for TV that you could, pick only the channels you want. Well, I think that's where we're at now today.
We are.
But it kind of sucks because it's more expensive that way. Because you have to, like, every channel you want is attached to, like, a bunch of shit you don't. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if my wife loves the show Friends, so it's on HBO Max, so we got to have that. And then, the girls watch stuff on Netflix, so we got to have that. And then you got to have Hulu, so you have something, so you can watch Fox 8 and live. And, you got to have Disney Plus, because if Juliana doesn't get to watch Frozen and Frozen 2 14 times a day, then this house will blow up. So I mean, it's like everybody thought they were going to. Everybody pissed and moaned about, like, I don't want to pay all this money for cable. Yeah, you're still paying it. You're just paying it to 10 different people now. Sorry, that's my old man rant. By the way, Giannis didn't headbutt anybody we're talking about. I love it.
He didn't. But just real quick, if Wyatt can't get up at 11:30 at night and watch the Japanese version of Dragon Ball Z for 2 hours, there's hell to pay all night, man. Hell to pay all night. And that boy
I just give Owen Coco Tassos.
Hey, but all right, so with
Ryan, I think you're capping.
You're capping, bro. Straight cap.
You might
Straight
be.
Cap.
You're a capper.
Yes. Screaming it.
With Giannis, I think that was good though, because everyone has always viewed Giannis as soft. He's a good player. He's one of the best in the world. But it was just like, you can't make this guy angry. And what was the thing with LeBron we always talked about in Cleveland before he went to Miami? He didn't have that killer instinct. And then he goes to Miami. And I remember watching, and I never saw him do this in Cleveland, but when he went to Miami, he was on the bench, and Mario Chalmers, told him to stop playing so passive. You're playing like a bitch. And LeBron got up, and he started flipping out. And I've never saw LeBron do that in Cleveland. He got that killer mentality in Miami. It's good that Giannis finally has this so early in his career. This might have clicked something for him, because in order for Milwaukee to be truly great, Giannis needs to turn into a killer. He needs to turn into that guy that doesn't give a damn, man. And he showed that he is capable of that.
Killer Giannis.
I think you have awoken something, and if it really did get awoken, the league is screwed, because Giannis, I would hate to see, like, LeBron as playoff LeBron. I would hate to see a version of that of Giannis. Oh my God.
Here's the thing, and I hate when people say that about LeBron James. Just so you know, if LeBron James played like Lance Stevenson,
oh God,
he'd kill somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're lucky that these guys don't get violent, because, the Greek Freak is another great example. That dude is huge. He's full of muscle. If that dude plays dirty, people will die. Now, it's good to see him get a little bit emotional. It's good to see that there is some aggression in there, because I do think that people see these guys who are that tall and that thin. Can't deal right now. It's good to see that he's getting there, because people see these guys who are that tall and skinny, and they just assume they're soft, and that's not always the case, except in the case of Kevin Durant, who's the softest human being in the whole earth. And I'm pretty sure we have 11 people watching. All 11 of those people are probably Kevin Durant accounts.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh no.
All right, a little bit more NBA talk here. The Suns come out for Phoenix. Suns undefeated in the bubble. So very interesting story. I don't know how good the Suns are. It sounds like they're pretty good to me. I've watched absolutely no basketball since its return. I know I'm a terrible human being for that, but it is what it is. So you guys can take the floor.
So, the funny thing is about basketball and baseball, for that matter, this right now, for everybody that was dying for sports, the ratings are good, but not like crazy over the top. So, Ryan, I don't think you're the only one because I'll be honest with you. I've watched a grand total of about 2 baseball games since it's been back on. And I don't even think I watched them in their entirety. But as for the Suns, so the Suns have this kid named Devin Booker, who I have a soft spot for. Devin Booker is from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and he's Puerto Rican. Puerto Ricans, there's not too many Puerto Ricans in the NBA. So anytime there's an all-star one, I try and, keep an eye on it just because I think that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? To have somebody who, looks like he could be my cousin, out there shooting the rock like that. The other person being Carmelo Anthony. Those are the two that come to mind.
Melo.
Yeah.
Weren't you a big JJ Barrera fan?
Oh, I still love JJ Barea. JJ Barea is about the same height as me. That's why I love that guy.
Yeah, I remember when he had a good run there for a while.
I was wondering if we were going to see a story like this year, and I think NBA was actually hoping that this story was going to be the story of the Pelicans, where they came into this bubble. Yeah, they came into this bubble and beat everybody and showed up and gives a brand new storyline. But the Suns end up being the one that go undefeated. They're looking great. They look like they're going to be a contender. I don't know how far they're going to go in to the playoffs, but
I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you how.
Carlos Arroyo's another one for the Orlando Magic and the Heat.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna
and
tell you
he was on that Puerto Rico team that beat the U.S.
Murdered them. The Suns aren't going to go anywhere in the playoffs, and I'll tell you why. Because last night, Damian Lillard, who is taking things about as personally as Michael Jordan did, single-handedly beat the Brooklyn Nets and knocked the Phoenix Suns out of the playoffs. He knocked them out. The Suns are going home today, literally. Like, that's not hyperbole. They are literally done. They aren't playing. They're done. They go 8-0. And they're eliminated. So my thing is, like you said, Sam, everyone wanted sports back, and the ratings are just okay. It is disgusting that the ratings are just okay because you had a team in the Phoenix Suns that were not good, and they go 8-0 against high-level talent, and you have the Portland Trail Blazers led by Damian Lillard and a resurgence of Carmelo Anthony, who decided, I don't want to look like Tom Roth anymore. I want to look fit, and became fit again. And those two teams are out there murdering other teams. You're finally seeing mid-market teams perform at a fantastic level, and no one gives a shit, evidently. And the Suns go home, and now you have the same 8 teams in the playoffs, and it's going to get even more boring.
Damian Lillard is the most underrated point guard in the entire NBA.
If he went to the Lakers, it's over.
Lillard might be the best point guard in the NBA.
Lillard is the best point guard in the NBA.
Honestly, his number one competition to me is Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
But man, Lillard he's different, man. That dude is different. And him and McCollum together make a hell of a team. But
it's Dame.
I'll tell you what, everybody talks about Giannis leaving. Can you imagine the Greek Freak and Dame Dash on the same team?
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
They might be better than the Warriors even if you put those two together.
Just think about this.
Because Lillard is cold-blooded.
Olajuwon stopped. Steph ain't even a top 5 point guard.
No. Yes, he is. Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Oh, yeah. He's at least top 5. I'm not putting him over Lillard or Kyrie.
No, I got to give the big eyes because we're talking about the guy that thinks Tim Duncan's the best.
You're right.
I can't help it. I'm sorry, Tom.
Oh, but the Miami Heat are in a position right now to do exactly what they did in 2010. Can you imagine the Greek Freak, Dame Dash, going there, teaming with Jimmy Butler and Tyler Herro, and making a absolutely disgusting unit. That team could go 81-1. No joke.
You know why? Because
why?
I don't think Jimmy Butler plays well with anybody.
Oh, he better learn.
I'm telling you for real. I think Jimmy Butler might be this generation's Carmelo.
Can I name my top 5 point guards that are better than Steph real quick?
I swear to God, if you say like that Key and Peel say, if you say some crazy bullshit, go ahead.
Damian Lillard, Kyrie Irving, Kyle Lowry, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul.
Bye. Nope. Chris Paul, nope. Kyle Lowry, nope.
Okay.
Russell Westbrook, maybe.
First of all, let me tell you something. Chris Paul took a team that was supposed to win 3 games, and they're in the playoffs in a top 6 seed, and they have nobody on that team. Nobody.
Can I show you guys my favorite shooting guard in the NBA?
Steph Curry had Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson and couldn't beat Kawhi Leonard and Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry is one of the best, if not the best, defensive point guard in the NBA, and has the Raptors primed for a title defense.
Kyle Lowry's not even. Patrick Beverly is a better defensive point guard than freaking Kyle Lowry. Are you, boy? Listen,
You're high.
Elijah, I don't know what kind of crazy shit's going on here right now. Listen, those statements do not reflect that a 4.40 at goal. Those are all time and Tom his own. There is no way.
Elijah Cooper, best lakeside quarterback of all time. Don't at me.
That's for real. Now, there you go.
Can I show you guys my favorite shooting guard in the NBA?
I can't wait to see this shit.
I
hope it's Jackie Moon.
If you put Kevin Porter Jr. out there, I'm going to smack you.
Alex Caruso. I love that guy.
The gym teacher.
I don't care what he is.
Alex Caruso looks like Greg Louganis after the cancer.
All I'm saying is this man can dunk.
No,
I love watching that dude
Buster
play.
Bluth. Alex Caruso is just Buster Bluth in a Lakers jersey. Okay?
He's a nice story. The real, and that's one of the things I guess we were going to talk about next is what matchups we're looking forward to most.
Can we take a break?
Yeah, let's get back to that when we get back. When we come back from the break, we're going to talk about matchups that we're looking forward to in the NBA playoffs this year. But we're going to give our business of the day. We're Alex
the janitor. He does.
We're going to do our
janitor from Lakeside.
We're going to do our business of the day, and I'm actually super excited to talk about this. If you have not tried TLC barbecue and soul food, you really need to. Listen, I went there yesterday. The entire family ate. Probably the best barbecue I've had in ever. Big heaping portions, delicious food, fresh cooked, all hot, ready to go. Very, very clean, maintaining social distancing, keeping everything clean, really assuring you that you're getting a great product. And not only that, they meet you with a smile, a little conversation, and told they can't wait to see you again. So for those of you who like barbecue, which I love barbecue, go check these guys out. They're going to be, it's like a food truck. So it's a mobile unit that's going to be traveling from place to place this year. But for those of you who don't know, if you've never had the Crockett's food out here, this is your shot. This is your chance to go eat some of the best barbecue that you're ever going to eat in your life from really good people putting together a really good product. So on Saturday, they are going to be set up on Main Avenue next to over by Perry Park News. So get over there, get you some food. Really, by the way. Yeah, tomorrow. So they're going to be set up over there tomorrow. And go over there and get you some food. TLC Barbecue. Go follow them on Facebook because that is going to be where you're going to be able to find out where they're at and get phone numbers for them. So TLC Barbecue and Soul Food. So that's, the Crockett's putting together a nice good amount of food and great tasting food, which is the most important.
Oh yeah.
All right.
No cap.
Yeah, no cap on that.
Absolutely no cap.
Take ourselves a 4-minute break as soon as I find this and take this image down. All right, 4-minute break. We'll be back. See you guys here in a couple minutes. Boom.
Iguodala. Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, 4-4 and go. That other getting old. We got Sam right in time. This is a sports octagon. Sports for forever and beyond. Spend it with Sam Ryan time. From the puck to the glove to the pigskins high. Share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. Down the baseline in the bleachers, or you gonna get denied. Yeah, share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. 4-4 and go. Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, it's 4-4 and go. Come here to cleanse your soul.
The Browns Super Bowl contenders.
Hey, listen, when we start talking about what wins Super Bowl, we talk about talent. The Browns, they have the talent. They have it.
Welcome back to the second half of episode 39. Felt good. Felt real good. But so quite a few topics to get through. Well, thank you. I like to think that too. I need a shower though, pretty bad. It ain't no good, I will tell you. But yeah, so getting in the second half of the show, a little bit more NBA talk. Getting in, we do have a punter grunt coming up, guys, and then a couple top threes. So looking forward to it. Don't forget, guys, on the bottom of the screen there, If you guys, anyone out in the audience has a top 3 suggestion list for us, let us know. We might throw it up on the screen, chat about it a little bit. But yeah, I don't know where. Oh, Sammy is. I don't know what Sammy's doing down there. There he is. He must have been putting deodorant on.
I'm promoting.
From over here. Yeah.
Hey, by the way, guys, just you two will know what I'm talking about. We are confirmed. We're good.
Yeah, let's announce it. Let the people who are watching know.
Let the people know. Let the people watch.
People. The people's
so
channel.
Guys, we've got 4-4 goal is reaching. We're reaching. We're going to different places now. Middle field. George Gresko will be our special guest on Tuesday to talk middle field football.
How interesting is that?
Listen, that's crazy because when we first started this, I was like, man, we'll probably get like Geneva, St. John, Lakeside, you know what I mean? Like, and we'll call it a day. But now we got goddamn middle field reaching out to us. Like, how awesome is that? And just going off of that, I got to do forget that. It's not a humble brag. So I'm selling a car the other day, and this dude is mugging me across the desk. And I finally had to say, I was like, what's up, dude? He was like, you're Tom from 440 and Goal. I was like, well, howdy. I felt like Leonardo DiCaprio. I felt like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he has the little thing of wine that everyone's doing right now, and they're like that. That was me. I was like, "Why, yes, I am." That was cool.
My wife is very proud of us.
I'm proud of Becky.
Thank you.
She's upstairs screaming.
So for those of you,
right
yes.
now.
So for those of you who didn't understand what Tom was saying, because he's a very excitable guy.
Professor.
On Tuesday, we are going to have Coach Gresko from the Cardinal High School. The head coach of Cardinal High School is going to be on our show. So like Tom said, it's a little bit outside of Ashtabula, but definitely a team that plays teams from up here and a team that most of you guys are probably aware of. So, tune in. You're going to get an idea of, some Geauga County football. And they are, I had to look it up actually, because I don't know every high school team around here. So the Cardinal High School Huskies. So, very, very cool to kind of broaden our horizon. So make sure everybody checks it out. We do. I know for a fact that the girls, the question was from Becky, don't we play Cardinal? I know, no, the band show was champion. The band show was champion. We play Cardinal at St. John. They play them. I know my daughters play them in volleyball. So, very cool. I can't wait to actually learn a lot more about Cardinal because I don't know too much about it. So that's one of the cool things. And also, everybody watching, if you know a head coach of a football team anywhere within knowing distance around here, send them our way. We'll get them on there. We announced earlier that we have had some difficult time trying to get through to Conneaut. We're still actively trying to get them on there. If you guys are watching, if you guys are watching and you have a relationship with Coach Rocco, please, send him our way or, give us some more guidance on how to get to him. Also, if you have a relationship with, I don't even know who he is, who the head coach of Pymatumi Valley is, or Grand Valley, either one of those guys. At very minimum, we'd like to at least have him on the show. No, Collins is at Jefferson, brother.
I know, but he might be our connect. No, that's I'm just what I mean. Yeah, because I know he was a head coach out of Pymatumi for a little while there.
Listen, connects. We got to connect. We might even be able to interview another state. Maybe we can go down to the Panhandle. With,
Rich. Coach Rich.
Coach Rich, have your head coach reach out to us. Maybe we can get a Florida boy up in here. How dope would that be?
Yeah, the idea is we like Tuesdays for at least the time being to be high school football centric. So we're trying to get as many coaches on here as we can. Obviously, you start with home. Because we want to give all of our home guys the love. I'm going to get a chance to go check out a couple of local high schools tomorrow. I'm super excited about that. We've had coaches that have let us kind of get in there at a distance and get some stuff ready for the magazine for the other schools too. So I'm super excited to the relationship we've got. One of the coolest things I think at this point for me personally is getting to hear from these seniors, man. About what's going on this year. These kids are hyped, man. They're ready for football. So,
hell yeah, I like it. We're making moves. We're like Cardi B, money moves.
I'll tell you what, one of my favorite parts about this entire show is how much on Tuesday nights. I know, so the truth is on Friday nights we usually lack in the viewership on a consistent dial tone, if you want to call it that. But on Tuesday nights, how much we get in here and how much the support comes from those fan bases. It's really fun. And I'm not going to lie, when the Cardinals messaged us, I was shocked, to be honest with you. So everyone knows we didn't do anything. We didn't suggest it, anything. That was just someone that wants to rep their school, rep what they're doing. Excuse me. And quite a few of the coaches we've talked to, I do believe some of their grassroots came out of that middle field area, if I recalled right.
Oh yeah,
Chip Sorber.
Chip
Sorber started at Cardinal.
That he started over at Cardinal. This is what we start when we started the show, whatever 4 or 5 months ago. This is what we wanted to do. Really, just talk about local sports with people. No one ever talks about Ashtabula County, Geauga County, Trumbull, any of those, sports and why it's great. And, hopefully we're the forefront of it and we keep rolling down this path because it's been a lot of fun. And I love how when we walk into a field house, with our mask on, 6 feet away, all that fun stuff. But every coach there welcomes us in with open arms. It's amazing. It truly is amazing. Doesn't matter where it's at. It's amazing to talk to those coaches.
And
you are welcome. And thank you for allowing us to promote those seniors and for all of you parents out there. We have met great parents from every single school. Whether it's, Jefferson to Geneva, St. John, Lakeside, Edgewood, whoever you want to talk about. We've met great parents, and those seniors, everyone we've run into, I can say is a nice, respectable young man. I feel great with the path of our youth right now. And that is a direct link to the parents and what you're doing. So congratulations to you all. The parents and seniors of this year have had to deal with a hell like no other parents and seniors ever had. And for, everybody to remain as optimistic and, well-behaved and into the game like EA Sports as they have, you guys all deserve, a round of applause. You guys are great. It is truly a privilege. To cover your sons, and not just your sons. We have made it a point that female sports are going to be covered on here. We are going to try and get some volleyball players on here because, girl sports matter too. So we're going to try and get some volleyball coaches, volleyball players. Granted, I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn about those. And, her son is Matt Grzinski from Geneva. Matt Grzinski, great kid. Kid. Very stand up. One of those kids that I remembered from immediately. So great kid.
Going off what you're saying, Sammy, Ashtabula, when we were growing up, the kids, the young men, the young women were empowered. They had that community support. They had people hyped about them, hyped about their successes, hyped about their progress. And for a while there, and I'm not disparaging Ashtabula, nothing, but I moved away for a while. Like you guys know, I was gone. I was in Pittsburgh. And I come home, and I don't see it as prevalent. I didn't see it as prevalent anymore. And now, through what we're doing, through what other young men and women are doing, like Elijah Cooper, Brandon Hanna, Buzz Edwards, John Butchko, Ed Rankin, all these, Chip Sorber, Bob Delgash, all these guys, they're coming in and they're empowering these young men and women to become the best versions of themselves. And at this time of COVID, when everything's uncertain and life kicked them down, it behooves people that have a platform or are making a platform like we are. We're making this a platform. It behooves us to help bring them up because we want the children to be our future. Well, it starts with giving them a direction and helping facilitate that direction to go in. And I'm honored to be able to help with that. And Matt Krasinski, great kid. DeSalvatore, Fuentes. I know Fuentes, but so I'm a little biased. But great kids, and it's been a fun time. This is amazing what we're doing and what these other people are doing. So hats off to us, but hats off to all those other people too. It's amazing.
And one thing I want to tell everyone that's watching, and I'm going to start doing this, especially on Tuesday night shows, we all have one of these. It's a cell phone that takes amazing pictures. Again, we are just 3 guys. We all work full time. We all have kids and other things outside. We love pictures. So there's going to be a lot of times that you guys are with your kids during the sporting events. Doesn't matter with volleyball, baseball, basketball's coming up. All these fall sports. Send them to us. Send them to us so we can get them up on 440 and goal. If it's just a practice during the weekday and you're watching your kid, send it to us because we can't make it. I mean, we're trying to cover 7 schools. We can't make it to all 7 schools every Friday night or every Tuesday afternoon or whatever, practices. We can't do it. We just can't. So we need the help of everyone out there watching. Send the images to us.
Yeah,
Let's put a little collab together.
If you have a senior athlete this year, and we've said this on a couple different shows, and I don't think people maybe people don't have senior pictures and stuff in yet. Send us in our message in the Facebook Messenger a senior picture. Give us a little blurb about them, and we'll feature them. We'll put them out here. We'll put their senior picture up there. Give a little bit about them, and just kind of congratulate them on going into the toughest year that any senior is ever going to have to go through. But we're going to try and, give them a little publicity. So send it to us. We really, honestly, for all of us, the biggest thing, the coolest thing for us is when we go out to these local establishments like I did the other day with my kids, went to a local ice cream shop. And one of the guys that we've covered was up there, making the ice creams and stuff. And, just seeing his face when he's like, hey, man, thanks for, getting, covering us at practice and talking about us and stuff like that. That's what we're doing it for. We want these kids to feel special because when we were in high school, we had that outlet. We Joe Pete did a wonderful job of making us feel special, and it gave us something to work for. So the seniors this year, they're not going to get this whole experience. If we can, help us, God, by the grace of God, we have about 900 people on our page now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So if you send us that, we can post that on our page and give your senior 900 pairs of eyes on them so they can feel special even for a moment.
And it helps us
100%.
continue to build those eyes for your seniors and future seniors coming up. That's the biggest thing. Keep building the audience. That way everyone sees it and everyone recognizes who Ashtabula County is. But send us those pictures genuinely. That's one of my favorite things to do when me and Sammy go get pictures. I love throwing them up on Facebook and then Tom coming through and correcting me because I put "there" spelled the wrong way. It's one of my favorite things to do. It genuinely is. I love putting the seniors up there and the kids that are practicing because, to be honest with you, those kids are putting work in. Every day they're putting work in out there, and they don't have to do it. I think a lot of people forget that. This is all, honestly, it's all on a volunteer basis to get yelled at, and get better. So
that's right.
Send us those pictures. We want to put them up on Facebook. We want the 900 eyes to keep growing. That way, every time we put something up, everyone else sees that image. So that keep it going though. 900 people in 4 or 5 months. I don't know how we did it, but we're doing it. So
let it ride.
Yeah, and if we're missing something, let us know. Shoot us a message,
Right.
Just try and keep it undercover, we prefer you maybe don't put out a status talking about how we avoid people because we're not.
Don't
like
be that one guy.
Yeah,
don't
we're trying. We're trying to. We're trying to. We're trying to cover
professionals.
We're trying to. We're trying to get the girls thing worked out right now. We're definitely going to attack the volleyball for the fall sport because that's the one I think that's going to have the most people. But ideally, at some point, we're going to try and get every senior in the county some kind of love out here.
Absolutely,
we're going to do it. So just keep your guys your eyes open and thanks for being open arms to us and trusting coaches trusting us to have your kids' best.
Interest in mind.
Interest in mind. So
yeah.
Right. So we just talked about it for a little bit, and Patty, I know she's been watching. She just sent us a photo. Let me just throw it up here. There's the Geneva seniors. That's all it was. Man. There's the boys. We've been seeing them quite a bit. Tough group of kids right there. I will tell you, I can't wait to watch them play this year. But send us those pictures. We want to put them on blast in a good way.
That number 35. That kid is a unit.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Listen,
hey, he's going to be fun to watch this year.
Unit. Charlie Terry. That kid's already got tattoos, man. That kid's already tatted up. I love it.
Listen, Charlie reminds me of, like I said, the great Kali in The Longest Yard. I feel so bad for whoever gets hit by that kid. And he's not the only one. I got a chance to, we got to go see some of those Lakeside Dragons. They got a big quarterback back there, big boy. Scabona ain't the only 6-footer this year throwing that rock around.
Yeah.
They got a big one over there at Lakeside. Jefferson has this whole new offense that they're incorporating with Brandon Hanna, who is one of the most prolific quarterbacks from this area ever.
Yep.
Coach Butchko has this offense that is going to be like it. He's going to put out this Texas Tech type offense that made Graham Harrell almost get into the NFL. Like, I can't wait to see that. And then the real mystery of this year is, Coach Delgosh and them St. John Fighting Heralds.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing to compare from last year. I think a lot of people are going to underestimate them. I think a lot of people are going to get hit in the mouth because St. John, those boys are ready to go. Boys are ready to go. I have yet to see a team that just looks like they're going to get run over this year. I have not seen one single team that we have covered so far. And I'm not saying that to kiss these coaches' ass because I will be straight up and down with you and let you know what's going on with these teams. Yeah, there are some teams that physically are just bigger. Geneva is probably physically the biggest team in this county.
Mm-hmm.
I have not got a chance, obviously, to see PV or Grand Valley. Geneva is huge. Lakeside has some of the fastest athletes I've seen out so far.
Hell yeah.
Jefferson is rebuilding off of a tough season. They've got some athletes. I don't think people realize how good they truly are. And then tomorrow, we're going to go out. I'm going to go out and check out this Edgewood squad and from a safe distance. And we're going to check them out because I can't wait to see that quarterback, left-handed quarterback, who slings that thing with no care in the world. So it's going to be a fun season, guys. For those of you watching, there is not going to be a Friday night or a Thursday night because so Lakeside and Geneva this year are going to play on a Thursday night. And you can bet your ass that they are going to be the game of the week and we are going to cover it. And you're going to see all the coverage right here on 440 and Goal. We're going to cover that to the best of our ability. There's going to be a lot of games we're going to try and cover, but that's one we can guarantee we're going to cover. I'm hoping to hear
why they're playing on a Thursday. I was really curious about that.
You know what? That's just for now because they haven't come up with that 6-game schedule. So maybe they will get moved back to Friday.
Right. I was really
it's probably something to do with like a holiday or something like that. But each team's got their own identity, and I'm excited to watch it. And eventually we want to be even if we're only as credible as like Amos B. Hoople. I would be okay with that. Like,
Amos B. Hoople was legit, bro. Amos B. Hoople was dope. I loved him. Or her, whoever it was.
Whoever it was, listen, that was my favorite part of that was my favorite part of the Star Beacon. When Amos B. Hoople would make his predictions. And that's another thing we're going to try and do too. And that's where that's what we'll see. That's where we'll see how much people really love us.
Yeah, right.
When we start making our predictions. So
yeah, especially the big Friday night games. They're coming up. I mean, they really are. They're knocking on the doorstep. We'll find out more on Tuesday.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks out. And we're playing high school Friday Night Lights. It's gonna be interesting.
Yes, it is.
All right. Where are we going now, boys?
Well, listen.
We gotta talk about the Eastlake boy, don't we?
Is that big dude that's about to throw hands, as they say tomorrow?
I think that's who we're talking about.
I think so.
I knew that name sounded familiar to me.
Oh my God, Ryan.
Yeah, I don't watch UFC either. I just never got into it. I'm sorry,
Ryan. I don't watch
ice
skating, but I know who Tanya Harding and Christy Yamaguchi were.
Yes, AJ, it is in Geneva, and maybe that's why it was supposed to be on Thursday.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Listen, so tomorrow, I believe it's part 3. Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier in a heavyweight title fight. You want to talk about Titans, the Clash of the Titans, that movie? It's about to be in real goddamn life tomorrow. These boys are out for blood. I think one of them might try to kill the other one. I mean, this is the third time they fought.
What's the overall record? Who has the is it 1v1?
It's a split, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a rubber match.
I believe it's a split.
Why is it called a rubber match? Why don't I know that?
Sammy, please just elaborate, please, because I can't right now. My head hurts. My soul hurts.
Ryan, you for real? You've never heard of a rubber match?
No, a contest consisting of a series of successive matches.
It's a deciding game. It's a deciding game.
So if you play a 3-game series and one person wins one and another person wins the other, the rubber match is the third one because that decides who actually wins the series.
I just don't get why they call it rubber.
Right? So did you grow up here?
It goes back. So Joe Rich gave me the name The Professor. Okay, so I'm going to do a little professorship on you right now. Back in the 16th century, they had a thing called lawn bowling, and it was utilized with rubber accoutrements. And an accoutrement is an accessory. It's just a fancy way to say it, Ryan. So a rubber match involved the deciding game of lawn bowling, essentially. And that's where the term comes from. We're going back to the 16th century, baby. Back when the French didn't bow out of everything. Sorry. But yeah, this is going to be a good match. I'm a big UFC guy. I think I might be like the guy out of us three that really like just pew at UFC. I love it. Like when Jorge Masvidal fought a few weeks ago on 6 days notice, I lost my mind. And Sammy made fun of me for like a week because I said Masvidal was going to end that guy's life, and ended up Masvidal put a stinker out there.
Got his ass beat.
He got his toes stepped on. Literally, his toes were stepped on for 12 minutes. Imagine if that boy had an ingrown toenail. If he didn't have one before, he does now. But this is going to be a good match. And heavyweight fighting is probably, I think we can all agree, heavyweight fighting is probably the most exciting out of any combat.
The only one worth watching. It really is. It doesn't even have to be two good fighters when they're heavyweights.
See, to me, when I think of heavyweights, I think of like Butterbean and Mike Tyson and Holyfield.
Okay,
and
that's what these guys are. They're the same weight as them,
and they're the equivalent.
I think Butterbean was bigger than all of them.
First of all, you understand that Butterbean was a super heavyweight.
And he was
Butterbean
super
was
awesome.
just
Anyone with the name of Super or with Butterbean is an amazing human being.
Butterbean is just
John Daly with a bald cap on.
Butterbean is just the fat guy that you fight at a local bar. Like that's that's really what it is. But like the big
from South Park.
The big guys that fight, they don't even have to necessarily be good. I've always been attracted. You know, I always want to watch the big guys fight rather than the little guys who are going to throw 500 punches in one round and try and, you know, get 16 BJJ holds. Like that's cool. You know, that's the people who watch boxing for the art. I want to watch two guys go out there and beat the piss out of each other.
Yes.
So like, you know,
just haymaker. You don't know when it's coming.
Rest in peace to Kimbo Slice. Like when him and Tank Abbott fought, it wasn't a great fight. It wasn't a great fight when it comes to like technique, but it was two guys that went out there and just beat the hell out of each other. And in a side note, if you would have taken odds that after that fight of who was going to live longer between him and Kimbo, I would have picked Kimbo all day long because Tank Abbott looked like he was about 70 years old in that fight.
Yeah. Yeah, you looked like he was about to die then.
Kimbo's like a large heart. He had a large heart. I think he had a heart attack.
Oh, he had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Bad. Rest in peace.
But even like
Abbott was the Tank though. He was good.
But even like Brock Lesnar, you know, when Brock Lesnar goes out there, you know, he fights. He's a wrestler, so some people don't like that ground and pound shit, and that's okay. I don't mind it because it's still action, but I don't want to watch guys that are going to, you know, circle around the ring and counter each other and, you know, getting holds and stuff like that the whole time. I want two guys who are going to go out there and beat the hell out of each other. Like that's all.
So like,
you know,
you don't like Floyd Mayweather then?
Hate.
Yes, I hate him too. Okay.
With a capital H. I hate Floyd Mayweather.
I don't like anyone who is a billionaire and is proud of their illiteracy.
I don't give a damn if he was a dollar heir. I don't like people who fight like that. I didn't like Bernard Hopkins either. I don't like that, you know, wait. You know, again, this is here come all the boxing guys that are going to be like, it's the beautiful science, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about the beautiful science. Look, here's four gloves. You put on two, punch until somebody goes to sleep. That's what I want to see.
Oh, yeah. So
that's why I love Butterbean.
So,
like 3 rounds. That's all I need, bud. That's all I need.
So we talked earlier. What are the top 3 fights you guys have ever seen? Like the top 3 fights in any combat sport that you've ever seen.
Yeah,
it raised a good question because Stipe versus Cormier is literally reaching legendary status in terms of the storyline.
I do, Coach.
And I'm going to get to Coach Rich because I'm going to kick us off.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so the top 3 fights. Now this is before like Coach Rich. I know you've been around a long time, as evidenced by that silver streaks that you have in that beautiful beard and mustache of yours.
I mean, he is just by the chewing tobacco. Your ass when that knee gets better, Tom.
No, I'm saying like it's beautiful. But so unlike you know, football, baseball, and basketball, I need to have, like you, Sammy, I need to have seen these things in order to truly appreciate a combat sport. Okay, so my combat sport narrative is a little shorter. It's a little more shorter lived. The best fight I have ever seen in my life, and I'm gonna start with number 1 because usually you guys know I go in descending order, 3 to 1. Number 1 is Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz 2. When Conor beat the ever-loving shit out of Nate Diaz and shut him up finally and just wrecked him. And you saw the birth of boisterous Conor, like in full-fledged attack mode. When Conor McGregor beat the brakes off of Nate Diaz and that bloodbath occurred, I loved it. I love Conor McGregor. So that was it for me. That is it. Like, in my lifetime, that's what I'm going to tell my kids about. Like, Dad, what was the best fight you ever saw? For right now, that's what it is. Number 2, Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. Now, Conor lost that fight, And I was the sucker that paid $150 to pay-per-view to watch the son of a bitch live. But when you mixed boxing and MMA fighters and they went against each other, and the talk, the pageantry, all the panache that went into it, and the lead up, and the product was not bad. That was a good fight, and Conor was winning. Arguably, Conor would have won that fight if he didn't get tired out, because the fact of the matter is he got tired. He's not used to fighting that length of time. But that was a really special moment for me to be able to watch that, like with my dad, who's like, so my father is an unabashed boxing guy. He likes UFC because I got him into it. You know what I mean? But boxing is my dad's thing. Like, he loves it. He's that guy you were talking about, Sammy. The beautiful science, Tom. But it was nice to see two eras essentially meld together, and the beauty that kind of was. And the third best fight I've probably ever seen in my life is Pacquiao Mayweather. And I don't like Floyd Mayweather. I made that abundantly clear a minute ago. Like I said, I don't like a billionaire that's proud of not being able to read. But that fight was so hyped up and so intense the entire time. And I was with, you're with your buddies, you're at a party at a house, there were like 50 people there, and we all watched this fight, and it was just going on, and who's going to win? We were throwing money on the table. Like, I lost $100 that night, and my ex-girlfriend at the time smacked me in the face because I lost our money that we were going to put down on an apartment together. So that was great. But that was cool, though. Like, it was cool to see Pacquiao go out there and try to handle his own against Floyd, and Floyd did what he does best. I mean, you can't say Floyd's a shitty boxer. You can say he's a shitty human being, but as a boxer, he's prolific. And just defending himself and taking those body punches and taking all that abuse and then coming out and bodying him at the end, that was beautiful to see, man. So 2 McGregor and 2 Mayweather fights are in my top 3. It's really weird, but that's just what it is. I love me some Conor. Sammy, go. I don't like your
I got one. I'm gonna do one,
ahead,
and it's because I really enjoyed watching this fight, because I did, and it was this. I think it was this year, early last year, was Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. I didn't really get into the whole hype show of it, but I mean, because they had match 1. And I do believe, fortunately, there wasn't a rubber match. There won't be one because Fury beat him twice, right? No. Fury didn't.
No, it's 1-1. It's 1-1.
So there's a rubber match probably somewhere along the lines, but Tyson Fury beat the brakes off of him. And it was really fun to watch, especially after Deontay Wilder wore that overweight mask. I do believe is the reason he said he lost, because his legs were giving out because the mask was too heavy, was his excuse. So there's my number 1 and only. I mean, anything with Tyson involved in it was a great match, but I never really recall watching many of them. I did watch the night he bit Evander Holyfield's ear off and got DQ'd. I remember that. That was pretty interesting. But past that, I ain't got nothing.
So, my number 3 is going to be Evander Holyfield versus Mike Tyson 2 in 1997. And that is strictly, it wasn't really a great fight, but that's one of those memories thing or whatever. It's one of few. My father likes boxing a lot. That's, I think that generation, that's what they, boxing was it. So one of few sporting events I actually sat down and watched the whole thing with my father. So we had a good time watching that. And Tyson, as far as I was concerned, was the baddest man alive. Another one that I can remember is Brock Lesnar versus Frank Mir.
That was
because I remember I actually watched that with one of the people who are watching here, watching the show right now, my buddy AJ. We went and watched, and I hated Frank Mir. And I watched Brock Lesnar beat his ass when it came to hands. And my buddy keeps telling me, he goes, yeah, but he's sloppy. He's sloppy. He's going to get caught. He's going to get hot. And I'll be damned if he doesn't lay some big hands on him and gets thrown into it like an ankle lock. Like gets thrown into an ankle lock like a WWE move. And then I guess my favorite probably that I've seen in the UFC is UFC is tough because there have been some really great
amazing
ones. And I'm gonna say this one is my favorite because I was so surprised. And I'm gonna butcher the guy's last name. It was Sugar Rashad Evans versus Machado. Is it?
Yeah, Machado.
Because he got kicked in the face, and that ended the damn fight. Machado,
Lyoto Machida, who I'm pretty sure is the only practitioner of karate left in the world in the UFC, and he beat my guy, who I've been talking up for weeks. I'd been talking him up, and I can remember that being the first time I was like actually surprised because I thought I thought for sure Rashad was going to beat his ass. And for I guess honorable mention, I hate Floyd Mayweather, but another giant surprise was when he knocked Ricky Hatton out. Ooh,
because I didn't think he had knockout power, and he gave him one.
Want one?
Yeah, and he put, that was it. That's literally, it was the opposite of what was supposed to happen in that fight. I can remember actually going over Sean Allgood's house to watch this. We all chip in for this pay-per-view, and it went all of like 2 rounds. And he busted Hatton down, knocked out. That was it.
It's crazy. You know what's crazy though? Like we talk about Floyd not thinking Floyd doesn't have knockout power. So Floyd is 50-0. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I truly think Floyd has 27 or 28 knockouts, as opposed to like 23 or 24 decisions. So he's knocked out more than he's just had decisions, which is crazy to think about because Sammy, like you, I don't really associate knockout power with Floyd.
Hell no.
But the son of a bitch does it. And you know what? Honestly, I just saw a picture of Floyd Mayweather. You know who I honestly thought it was? DaBaby.
Oh God.
The rapper DaBaby. I thought it was, like they look identical. That's crazy.
And then I can't remember. Do you remember who Anderson? So one of my favorite fighters of all time is Anderson Silva. The Spider Silva, because he's one of the greatest ever. I cannot remember off the top of my head who he was fighting. He did a leg kick on the guy and broke his leg. Like broke his own leg, wrapped his own leg around the dude's shin. It was the most horrifying thing I've ever seen live. And I can't remember who it was.
Wait, and Silva lost that fight, right?
Yeah, he was done. He broke his friggin' leg.
It was Michael Bisping. It was Michael Bisping.
I don't think so. I gotta look. I can't not look it up. Sorry. I don't mean to do research on the show while we're here, but my God.
No. It was Chris Weidman or Weidman, however you say his name. Chris something. Weidman or Weidman or something.
That's who it was. And so Silva has been caught a couple different times because I want to say Rich Franklin, who is another tool, caught him too.
Rich Franklin, he beat Rich Franklin, and if I remember correctly, it was the knockout of the night.
Somebody fought Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva was doing this, like he always didn't put his chin out, and knocked Anderson Silva out. And I thought that was Rich Franklin.
Rio Shonen or something. It was Rio Shonen or something like that. It wasn't.
As long as it wasn't Chael punk ass Sonnen, that's all.
It wasn't. And he. he got rocked.
Who was that, man?
Chris Weidman, Weidman.
Yeah, Weidman knocked his ass out.
Is that what you're talking about?
It was because
trying to become part of this conversation,
then
but I have
next
no
fight,
idea what's going on.
Silver broke his leg against him.
I think it was Weidman.
I
think it was Weidman that knocked him out the first time. So you know, Ryan, what we're talking about here is Anderson Silva was really, really good and had this habit of, like, you know, when you hit up on the D-pad in a boxing game and they're like this. He would do that in real life, but he was so good nobody would ever be able to get to him. Well, he did it and got knocked square out. I got knocked clean out, and I think it was Weidman. But if you ever haven't eaten in a couple hours and you want something gross to look at, look up Anderson Silva, Chris Weidman, leg kick.
That's what his leg looked like.
His leg wrapped around that dude's leg like a slap bracelet.
Got tossed in the lake.
Of course he did.
So let's end the show on one more top three that I can actually be involved in. That would be great. If you guys don't mind. I don't want you to be like, all right, you know, and we'll keep it simple. Top three. Where's that? It's here somewhere. Professional fights. Where did it go? The top three hardest positions to play in any sport.
Ooh.
No, most difficult. So I'll go first real quick. And there's really no order. But I would say one of my three is shortstop for any baseball team, regardless of whether it's high school, collegiate, pro. It doesn't matter. I think shortstop's one of the hardest positions to play, just simply because of the amount of, I mean, you just never know. That ball's always a rocket to you, and you got to gun it over there. Number two definitely is going to be a quarterback position, just because you're the field general and you got to make sure everything goes right. But my number three, and you guys may laugh at me, but a field goal kicker. You can laugh, but if you really genuinely think about it, in the pro level, you got one job. And unless you played for the Cleveland Browns and Hugh Jackson, you're fired. He let that one ride for a long time. But think about how many times a field goal kicker is there to win the game. 4 seconds left, fourth quarter, 40-yard boot. You make it, you win. You don't make it, you lose. It's a lot of pressure.
I'm not going to disagree.
I am.
I know you are.
You have one freaking job. You have one job. Yeah. That's like being a surgeon. Be like, look, 90% of my patients live.
All right. I'm going to roll real quick. Number three, I'm going to say a goalie in soccer.
That doesn't surprise me even a little bit.
They only face a handful of shots each game, but I mean, it's an 8x24 net. And I mean, I don't give a shit if you're Shaq or Giannis. I mean, that's hard to defend. And you're not wearing any protective gear whatsoever. And that ball can come at you at 70 miles an hour, man. And you got to block that. And 1-0 could be the winning score of the game. That's a tough position to play. Number two, any position in water polo. Okay. I'm being serious. I'm serious. So there's a bunch of different positions in water polo, but you need to be a good swimmer. You're playing in a deep pool. You can't stand up. You need to have the presence of mind to be able to catch and shoot. And there's contact going below the water and above the water. I mean, you got to have the presence of mind to do it all. Swimming in general is tough. I lived with swimmers for 2 years in college, man. Those dudes are units. The coordination is insane that they have to have. But the toughest position I feel in sports is quarterback, psychologically and physically. It's a tremendous amount of stress on the arm. They have to memorize an entire playbook. They have to know everyone's responsibility. They have to read a defense, break it down before the play, audible out of it, and then reassess everyone's importance to the play. And they have to deliver an accurate pass that puts a receiver, running back, tight end, whoever, in the position to make a catch or break through the line of scrimmage. And they got to do it all while Myles Garrett is coming at you with a helmet. So, quarterback, toughest position.
Sammy, go.
John, a jockey in horse racing is probably pretty tough too. I put that in my top 5. Jesus Christ. It behooves me.
You behoove me. Listen, all right. So number 3 is catcher. It's the hardest. It's definitely the hardest position on the entire baseball field. You have to do everything, in a squatting position. You have to be able to call an entire baseball game. You have to be able to calm down a pitcher. You have to be paying attention to runners. You better have a cannon on your shoulders. Otherwise, you're going to get stolen. Your base is stolen on you all day long. And if a pitcher has a bad day, a lot of times it can be on you. Catcher is such a tough position that, teams need 2 different ones because pitchers can't throw to one catcher. Knuckleball guys need a specialty catcher.
Yep.
So really any catcher in general. So then I have a chance, Marlon. Knuckleball. The problem is I break that poor horse's back. But going on, catcher is my number 3. Number 2, I would have to say is. So I guess this is going to be where I get a little bit, controversial. I think corner is the most underrated on how difficult it is to be a corner on the football field. And the reason why I think it's hard is because you are usually going against the best athlete on the field in wide receiver. Definitely the fastest guys are typically at wide receiver. In today's football, you cannot touch them. They know the play. You do not. When the ball is in the air, you can't touch them. Everything is a reactionary thing. So corners really have to be great. And if you look bad, if you do your job badly as a corner, you are directly responsible for a touchdown most of the time. And it's very easy to point you out. So a lot of people go to quarterback as the most difficult, but definitely they have to learn everything, but they're also the most coddled position in all of sports. You can't even sneeze on them. So corners have a hell of a job and they get no love. And oftentimes people just talk shit about them because they're smaller typically. And the number 1 most difficult job in all of sports is a goalie in hockey. Nobody sees that. So granted, it's not as big as, they don't have to guard as big a goal as soccer, but they're also not looking at 100-mile-an-hour shot in soccer. I would challenge anybody in the world to try and get in front of Ovechkin's slap shot and tell me that goalie's not a difficult job. And it's a position that if you don't do it perfectly, you can lose the game. It's the games are typically low scoring. So hockey games, are 2 and 3 to 1, 3, stuff like that. So I think goalie probably the most difficult in all of sports.
Joe Rich brought up a good one. Caddying for Tom. Listen, when I'm on the 8th hole and I'm on my 12th White Claw, listen, brother, I'm hitting driver from the green. You got to talk me out of that.
You could have said anything but White Claw, and we would have. You went White Claw.
Stay hydrated.
Also, I want to point this out too, and this is something I learned over the last couple of days. Goalies in hockey didn't have to wear face masks until the 80s. Before the 80s, you had guys that were goalies in hockey without a damn helmet. Dude, I'm telling you, man, hockey players, they're a different breed, dude. They are a different breed.
Yeah, all right. Time is now 10:36. The show's over. I don't care. I'm ready for a nap. It's bedtime. Very excited.
You sound excited. Way to sell the show, you slice of shit.
You got it. I'll be here. I'll be here on Tuesday. Don't worry. Oh, yeah, John, no one cares. You just got on. We've been going at it for 2 hours now. Show up on time once in a while. Anyways, great show tonight, guys. A lot of fun with you. It's been fun. It's been real. It's been real fun. We'll catch you guys Tuesday. Don't forget, let's see. It is the Cardinal Huskies.
Yes.
Will be joining us on Tuesday around 9:30, like we usually do. Very excited to bring on a team from, what you said, they're from Geauga County?
Yeah, so it's Middlefield, which is in Geauga County. It's the Middlefield Cardinal Huskies, Coach Gresco.
Yep, Coach Gresco will be joining us on Tuesday, right around 9:30, like usual. So don't forget to stay tuned. Again, everyone that's watching, if you got kids playing football, volleyball, any fall sport, whatever it may be, send us some pictures so we put them up online for everybody to check it out. So this is Ryan. I'm signing off for the evening. We'll talk to you guys Tuesday.
This is Sam. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Have a good weekend, folks.
Hey. This is Tom. I had a great time. Hopefully I educated you on water polo. Have a good night.
Goodbye.
Rebound taken by Iguodala. Iguodala to Curry. Back to Iguodala. Up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection.
Cleveland! This is for you!
Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, 4-4 and go. That other getting old. We got Sam Ryan time. This is a sports octagon. Sports for forever and beyond. Spending with Sam Ryan time. From the puck to the glove to the pigskins high. Share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. Down the baseline in the bleachers, or you wanna get denied. Yeah, share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. 4-4 and go. Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, it's 4-4 and go. Come here to cleanse your soul.
The Browns Super Bowl contenders.
Hey, listen. When we start talking about what wins Super Bowl, we talk about talent. The Browns, they have the talent. They have it.